G'day, Sam, and welcome to the Disability Medication Chart training. This is a chart that we use for 6 months of recording, and it can be used for 12 months, but generally it depends on how much medication the customer actually has. So now I understand, Lana, that you're standing in for Sam today for my Cert 4 in training and assessing. So to start, I'd like to acknowledge, or would you like to do the acknowledgement of something?
Sure, absolutely.
It is on the screen if you...
Okay, that's fine. Apologies, there it is. So, we express our gratitude to the Ghana people for their continuous care and care of this ancient country for thousands of generations, and for the sharing of this land that was never ceded. We recognize and respect the wisdom of Ghana elders, past, present, and those to come, and extend those to all First Nations people and their living cultures. We walk softly alongside First Nations peoples as allies committed to seeking guidance, listening with purpose, and acting with courage in our future together. Always was, always will be.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Lana. Okay, so what we're going to learn today is how to complete the front page of the medication chart, including the customer details, the consent, the allergies, provider details, and where it says provider consent details, I'd like our practice leader name and phone number on that. And entitlement numbers, special considerations over here, additional support plans, and vaccination schedules. So we'll also learn how we'll demonstrate how to correctly read and interpret the chart, including the 7 R's of safe medication administration, accurately document medication counts, medicines received and removed, and medication administration. And we'll be able to describe the correct procedure for administering PRN medications, steps to take it if there's an error, if an error is made, and safe infection control practices, and working within your scope of practice. So it's a bit of a big section, but we'll have a bit of fun as well. Okay, so on the front page, you'll notice here we have a spot for the customer details. So we have surname, given name, address, date of birth, phone number, and please put in the date that the chart is starting. Okay, easy as. On the right-hand side, you'll see a photograph, and this photograph needs to be a current photo of our customer, because customers, when they lose lots of weight or when they have extended periods of illness, they can really dramatically change their facial features. So we need to take a photograph every year of our customers and put the date alongside the photograph so that we know that it's an up-to-date photo. Okay, and so moving down the chart, after the client's details, we have the obtained informed consent. Now, whoopsie, I've gone too far. Anyway, we'll just keep moving, that's fine. So we have the consent. Now, every time we give a medicine to a customer, we ask for their consent. So we'll go up to them and say, "Hi, Sam. I'm Alex. I've got your 8 a.m. medications today. Are you happy to have them?"
Sure.
That way you're not only checking that you've got the 8 a.m. medications and somebody's going to pick up if it's 8 p.m. and you're trying to give him the wrong medications, but also you're getting consent from the customer.
Yeah.
Okay. We also have an overarching consent that consents to the customer allowing us to help them with their medication. Then we move down to the allergies and adverse drug reactions. So an allergy is basically something that you're going to need medical treatment for. For example, anaphylaxis is a known allergy, whereas an adverse reaction is usually something that's not quite as serious and it just causes a little bit of discomfort, like maybe a rash or something. Okay, so we also include here if they have any lactose intolerance or gluten-free, that sort of thing there as well. We also need to stick one of our drug alert stickers on both the front page and page, the short-term medication page, which is the other red page that you'll see. That's so that you can alert the GP to the fact that there are allergies when he's writing a short-term medication. So following down, pretty straightforward, GP's details, pharmacy details. As I said, the team leader name and practice leader name and phone number. Then we have our entitlement numbers. So this is a one-stop shop. Okay, so it's all here, and you really don't. So for new staff or agency staff, they've got all the information about this customer on the front page. So please, please fill it out. The allergies section, you can just copy from the latest GP care plan. That will always have the drug alerts on it. Okay, so moving on, we got to our special considerations. Now, I implore you to fill this out because I am not with the customer giving medications every day. The GP is not with the customer giving medications every day. Sam, you are with the customer every day. Okay, so you know whether Lisa wants to have her medication crushed, or whether she wants it dissolved, or whether it needs to be mixed with something, whether the customer wants it just handed to them in a medicine cup, or whether it's crushed and mixed with custard, or if it's just given with water or thickened fluids. You know the customer better than anyone, okay? So please feel happy to actually fill that out. Any special instructions can go in there as well. For example, if they're on blood thinners, that might be a good idea to put on there. Or I've just put that I'm on insulin, so to be aware that I might have high and low sugar levels. And then please put the date, your name, sign the box, and put your designation or what your role is. So whether it be support worker or practice leader or like myself, clinical support lead. Then we have the additional support plan. So we actually add in all the other care plans that they may have. So GP care plans, behaviour support plan, seizure support plan, and dysphagia support plan, because that's a big one with medication if they have dysphagia concerns. And then at the bottom, there's a section for vaccinations. Now, we do need to update, I believe, our customers for their COVID shots, because a lot of them haven't had their COVID shots recently.
Is it mandatory?
It's not mandatory, no. It's suggested as good practice. But by having the vaccinations listed on the front of the chart, it's making it easy for us to know whether they are up to date or not. And with the COVID vaccination, you can actually just put the first and the second dose that were mandatory, and then the last given dose.
Okay, yes.
So, because some people are having them every 6 months, some people are having them every year, and so they might have a total of 10 or 11 shots for COVID
So
by
just
this
the
stage.
first 1 and 2, and then the last one that they've
Yep,
most
the
recently.
most recent. Perfect.
Thank you.
Excellent. So now if we turn the page, some of our customers are on medications that can be misused and have potential harm. So this is where we have our medication chart, our medication counts page. Now you have enough room for 6 months of medication counts. We only count the medications in stock once a day and at the same time each day.
Okay.
So at 8 a.m., for example. So as you can see on this chart, Sam, we've done a count on the 12th, which says that there were 5 midazolam. And then on the 13th, there are only 3. Now, what would we do in this situation when we've counted 3? So from yesterday, 2 are missing.
So it's a PRN medication, I'm assuming. So we'll just have to check whether it's been administered. Whether, you check.
Very good.
Notes
So we'd check the PRN medication page.
Yep.
So have a look at that, and
Yep.
and we can't see that it's been given.
It hasn't been given.
Okay, so no dose has been given. So what else could be the case? What else?
Could have been a medication error.
Correct. Could have been given it in error.
It's just fallen out somewhere. So we might need to
Absolutely.
Good look.
So absolutely. So it might still be in the van, or might have been left at day options. Or I might be having a party next weekend and I've just accidentally put it in my pocket to have a bit of party time, which I hope nobody's thinking of doing, because that would be a disciplinary. Yes, absolutely. And not the sort of staff we wanted. Angry care. So just to discuss the medications in a little bit more detail, Schedule 8 drugs are substances that are potentially dangerous, may be abused, and are addiction-producing or potentially addiction-producing. So they're pretty heavy drugs.
Yeah.
Some Schedule 4 drugs are prescription-only drugs also, but they are subject to special controls because they have a potential for abuse or misuse. And we're going to call these controlled drugs. So any S4 or S8 drug that are in their original packaging or individual sachets or blister packs require counting. Okay, so if an S4 or S8 drug is packed in with the regular medications, then we're not counting those ones.
So the ones in the sachets, we're not counting?
No, not if they're in with their regular medications. So we're mainly talking about PRN medications.
What is their regular medication, like wafer, like olanzapine wafers? They're not in the original packaging. They come into the original packaging, not in the sachets.
Then we need to count them.
Yes, okay.
Because they have the ability to disappear.
Yes.
So we need to be accountable for where all those drugs are at any one time.
But that's the regular medication, so that's classified as we still need to count even though it's regular. Okay.
And another one might be dexamphetamine, which is locked up medication. So
Schedule 8?
Yes, Schedule 8, yeah. So some examples of Schedule 8 medications include your opioids, buprenorphine, fentanyl, hydromorphone, methadone, morphine, oxycodone, pethidine, and tapentadol. Your benzodiazepines like alprazolam and flunitrazepam. And your others include things like medical cannabis, stimulants like dexamphetamines, and codeine, but not codeine that's mixed with something. So pure codeine is an S8 medication.
Okay. Can you give me an example of pure codeine?
Yeah, just codeine.
So it's actually just titled codeine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Schedule 4 or controlled drugs that are to be counted include the benzos like clonazepam, diazepam, lorazepam, midazolam, clobazam, just to make it sound wrong, and clonazepam. Your codeine-containing meds are things like Canadine Fort, which can contain paracetamol and codeine.
And you count those?
Yes, or your ibuprofen, and codeine, so those mixed pain relievers. And the others are things like gabapentin, pregabalin, quetiapine, and tramadol. So you'll notice that quetiapine, some of our customers are on as a regular medication, but because it's packed with other medications, we don't need to count that.
It's usually in a sachet, so that's...
So the next page, we have the medicines removed and received register. So every time you get a delivery from pharmacy or you pick up some medication from pharmacy, you need to fill out that you've received it from pharmacy. It's a double check for you guys that you are receiving the correct medication for the correct customer. Okay, and it's at this stage that you may check that what you're getting in, and you might go, whoa, hold on a minute. These don't look like eye drops. So we recently had a case where a syringe containing vitamin D solution that was an oral solution was actually labelled as eye drops for one of our customers.
Oh my goodness.
So this was picked up at this stage because the support worker was entering it in the medicines received register, and as she's doing it, she's checking that all medicines seem correct. Now, I'm not saying that you're a pharmacist. I don't expect you to be able to eyeball every medication and go, oh, that's got the correct markings on it and that's the right colour, that's good. I'm saying you're going to check the sachets and go, yep, 4 tablets, yep, 2 blue. Wait, why is there a red one in here? Okay. Just like this support worker looked at the medication and went, don't look like eye drops to me. Okay, then the next column is only to be used in the case of non-packed medicines like the eye drops. So she would have said, so are the non-packed medicines in date? Yes, they were. Are also, in the case of the vitamin D eye drops, she would have written down, are all medicines correct? No. Are the non-packed medicines in date? Yes, if there was a current expiry date on. Are medicines noticeably in good condition? I'd have put a no for that because they were so, and then you would automatically escalate that to your practice leader and also notify the pharmacy.
Risk man as well?
And do a risk man, yes, of course. Then the other things are expired medications or removing medications from the customer's box of medications that may have been ceased, expired. Then we need to keep a record of them also so that we can know what we're sending back to pharmacy. So, and especially for any of these, if it's an S8 medication, then it needs to have a separate line on its own. Okay, so you can't just say a group of medications sort of thing. You want to say oxazepam, 12 tablets left, they were ceased.
Will we update that on this chart as well, medication counts?
Yes, if we're counting it on the medication counts, yes, absolutely. We would just say
that's a good way of referencing it.
No longer required, ceased. Okay, so down the very bottom, we have a prescriber review. So that's where we can use this spot to show that the GP or the pharmacist has actually reviewed the medication chart. So even if you take the medication chart back to the GP and he adds something on it, as he does that, he reviews the customer's medication and just get him to date and sign there to say that he's reviewed it. Okay, just showing that we're doing all these extra little checks. Now the next page is the sample staff signature and initials page. This has been used in nursing fields for many moons, and the reason is because when you're looking through a busy medication chart, it's often hard to determine whose signatures are whose. So by having this sheet, we can see your clear name written neatly, then we can see your signature, and then we can see an example of your initials. So we can easily turn to the medication chart and go, oh, yep, sure. I'm sure Julie gave that dose, but I'm just going to double check because the customer's saying they didn't get it, but it's been signed for. So I'll check with Julie. Okay, simple as that. Nothing further, but also always remember to get agency to sign that chart as well. Okay. So our medication chart is basically simplified so that it's really easy to use, and it is designed to save you time. So it's very important that staff witness the customer actually taking the medication, because by signing this medication chart, you are signing that the customer has taken the medication. Okay? So staff must also record any refusal to take medications, and it is the customer's right to refuse to take medication. What would you do in that situation if someone said, I don't want my tablets, I'm rattling?
I would give them some time, and then maybe get someone else to try, a different person on shift, hopefully, and try different strategies. You know, this way may have not worked, but something else would have, maybe, and just give them some time to think about it.
Perfect. And if in the end they didn't take their medication, you'd simply put an R in today's slot.
And in case note as well.
And then risk man and case note it. Absolutely perfect. So the charts are all colour coded. So we have red for short-term medications, green for PRN, and blue for regular medications. Now, please just remember that we don't ever use a chart if there's no room to sign. Okay, so if the 6 months is finished and they're using 2 pages of the regular medicines, then you can only use the chart for 6 months.
Okay.
You can't sign in the little columns alongside the page. Okay, you need to get a new medication chart. Okay, so moving on to our short-term medication chart order. This is where you may need to steer the doctors. So this is purely designed for things like antibiotics or prednisolone, maybe earwax, ear oil, wax remover.
Antibiotics as well?
Antibiotics, absolutely. So there are only 2 weeks of signing spots on this chart. As you can see here, there's only 7 plus 7. So if the doctor, for example, put somebody on prednisolone for 3 weeks, they would need to write 2 of these lines of prednisolone, one for the first 2 weeks and then another one for the 3rd week.
So below it.
Sure. You can point out to the doctor that there is also an area for indication. So if you came along and you saw amoxicillin and chest infection and daily dose of 3 doses a day, you'd know that the customer has a chest infection at the moment, so you would need to keep an eye on their coughing and breathing and just check that they're doing okay. Okay, so it's a bit of a storyteller for you as well. And the chart has exactly the same layout as the other charts. What we do have here is a green paper clip. This must be used when the customer is ordered a short-term medication, because we put it over here like this.
It indicates that. Reminds us.
And it tells us that the customer has a short-term medication that needs to be given. Please do not forget the medication.
Yep.
Okay?
Mhm.
Perfect. Stands out. Excellent. And please don't let the GP use it for PRN or regular medications, because you'll just have to take the chart back to him to get him to, or her to get them to redo it. Okay. PRN orders. It's very important that the time, date, quantity, and initial are completed each time a PRN order is administered.
Mhm.
We need to check that the PRN medication is not also prescribed as a routine medication or a regular medication. And the PRN medication must get prior approval from the practice leader or on-call officer. So, for example, if somebody comes and says, can I have some Panadol because I've got a headache? Some people are ordered Panadol 2 or 3 times a day. So you'd have a look at the regular medication chart, check when the last dose was given, and make sure that it was 4 hours apart. And these instructions will be written along here. So the doctor will write headache, maximum of 8 in 24 hours, and they can only be given 4 hourly, not 3 hourly.
Yes.
Or not at the same time as the breakfast Panadols. Okay? So be very careful.
So you wouldn't give diazepam if it was regular, and then it was PRN as well. You wouldn't give it to them at the same time as same morning medication.
No, because you're doubling up
Okay.
on their diazepam dose. Okay. Yes, definitely. So you need to check the PRN and the regular orders. Make sure you know when that customer last had a dose.
What if they demand it? What if the customer insists?
You can't legally give it because you're overdosing them.
Okay. Did we hear that?
If they have Panadol, for example, more sooner than 4 hours apart, you are killing off their liver. Okay, suicide has, Panadol is one of the suicide drugs. So you do not want to kill off the customer's liver, okay, by giving them, overdosing them on Panadol. Absolutely. Check, check, check. The more checks, the less mistakes. Okay, what did I say?
The more checks, the less mistakes.
Very good. Very good. Also, if the PRN is a restrictive practice, for example, a chemical restraint, you know all about this, Sam, then a risk-man incident report must be completed, and it must never be given as a first line of treatment.
Absolutely.
You must always try, and if the customer's got a headache, put a cold flannel on their forehead, darken the room, see if that works, and then give them Panadol if they need.
Usually we like to say follow the strategies in the behaviour support plan if they've got one.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sam. And the chemical restraint must also be recorded on the Lumary restrictive practice usage report function in Lumary.
Yes. That's if they've got it set up already with an authorised PRN chemical restraint or whatever, PRN.
Absolutely. So, moving on to our regular medication chart. So that's our blue page. We have the 7 rights of administering medication. If support workers follow the 7 rights of medication, they can't make a mistake. So, let's just go through and shout out some of the 7 R's for me.
Right route.
Right route.
Right name.
Right name.
Right medication.
Sure, right medication.
Right dose.
Right dose.
Right time.
Right time.
Right to refuse.
Right to refuse.
Right medication.
And right documentation.
Documentation. Did I say medication?
Yep, you did.
Okay.
So, if we have checked that we've got all of them right, so we've checked we've got the right client.
Yes.
And we've checked on the dose administration aid that we've got the right client.
Yes.
We've checked that we're doing the 8 a.m.s.
Mm-hmm.
We've checked we're doing the 8 a.m.s, etc., etc., etc. We're checking right client, right medication, right dose, right dose.
Yeah.
You can't make a mistake. Even blind Freddy could do it. Okay, so let's go through this.
Yeah.
And we're going to stop for a break after we've done the 7 rights of safe medication administration.
Yep.
So the right person, we check the customer's identity, including name, date of birth, and photo reference.
Mm-hmm.
Are you giving the medication to the right customer?
Mm-hmm.
Check to see if the customer has any allergies.
Mm-hmm.
Always double check allergies.
Yeah.
Number 2, the right medication and orders. Check the written medication order. Is the order current? Check the original packaging of pharmacy tablets or the dose administration aid and the medications. Do they match?
Mm-hmm.
If not, stop. Is the medication also still in date?
Yeah.
Always check the expiry date. The right dose and strength. So check the instructions on the medication packaging or dose administration aid and the medication orders match. Same dose, same strength, once again. Then check the medication that you have prepared and check for decimal points also. Because we had an incident, I remember that luckily it was only written in the Riskman report, but they said that the customer was given 50 milligrams of diazepam or Valium instead of 5 milligrams of Valium. Now that's like 10 times the dose, so scary. Anyway, it wasn't a physical error, it was okay. Check the right time of administration on the original packaging or the dose administration aid and check that they match. Check also when the medication was last given. 5, check the right route and method. So check that you're giving the right route of administration. No, this is here on the route here.
But I guess if they like it whole instead of...
Oh, absolutely, yes. So the doctor will write whether it's oral or whether it's topical or whether it's an inhaler. So you check that and you check the customer's individual instructions on about their medication. So that's what you were talking about there. Number 6, the right documentation. Sign for the medication on the medication chart. Immediately. Because if you walk back to the office, you'll forget. So what I am hoping I see everybody do, and I will be doing spot checks, you will take the medication folder with you and the medication dose that you've prepared for your customer. That may be in the sachet, it may be in one of those dosette little medicine cups. You take them both to the customer's room. You then check, hi Mark, I've got your 8 a.m. medications. Oh, yep, that's Mark. Yep, match, check. No mistake, okay? Then you turn to your regular medication page, and as you're doing your 7 R's, you get to your documentation and you sign at 0800 hours on the 10th of March that you have given that medication. You have seen Mark swallow that medication, okay? No mistakes can be made. Okay, so whilst we're on documentation, you also need to just check if other required documentation is completed, including case noting to report maybe observation of signs of good effect. For example, if we've given a PRN medication, we need to chart whether it had an effect on our customer, or whether we need to get the customer reassessed to help them with their headache. Number 7 is the right to refuse. So the customer has the right to refuse their medication. As we said earlier, you would try a couple of other times, maybe a different staff member. If they still don't want their medication, you would document that in the case notes and a risk man. You'd report it to the practice leader or the on-call officer. But you would also ask the customer why they don't want the medication, because it may be making them feel really sick or something like that. So check with the customer as to why they don't want the medication.
Do you want us to send an email as well following, the case note? Riskman?
No, because Riskman will alert us to the medication
What about
error.
after hours and practice lead and on-call not available?
Then the support worker would ring the operations manager.
They're working 24/7?
They will answer their phone, yes, in emergencies. Absolutely.
Is that an emergency?
Or
is it more appropriate to send an email?
Well, you could also ring Health Direct. That's the other thing you could do.
I think before administering it, definitely call Health Direct.
Yes. So, but we're talking about
by consent.
Yeah, we're talking about them missing a dose.
Yeah.
So you'd want to check that. We can't actually, even if it's important for the customer to have that medication, that dose. If they refuse, we can't force them to have it.
No, of course not.
So
I'm worried.
We can just
the documentation side of things. Hopefully.
Yeah. So case note. Riskman. Report to practice leader or on-call officer.
Easy. Good.
And thank you. We're going to have a bit of a break now.
Okay.
And
a lot of information.
Absolutely. But we'll do some practical as well in a bit. So. And we'll do some practical soon as well. So
Beautiful.
thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
That's
Thank
awesome.
I learned a lot.